Alright, hello everyone, this is Brad Johnson here, and I'm just going to be doing this MP3 audio as kind of an official introduction to the being whom I have previously channeled in the past, although there hasn't been too much public familiarity with him. It was back in California when I was actually last there that I brought forward this particular entity, and this entity is known as Kidioki. That's basically the name that has been given to me to refer to him as. He is what's known as the second generation of the hybrid civilizations. The first generation being that of the YahYel, the third generation being that of the Sassani, the entities that are of Bashar's people. The second generation of this particular race, at the time before Adronis commented on it, he basically gave it kind of a Syrian nickname, which was called the Talamara. And the Talamara in Syrian, basically in that form of representation, stood for the second. And so at that time there wasn't really too much information pertaining to what he was able to bring about pertaining to a name. And so it wasn't just until last night when I was actually being able to connect a lot deeper with his energy that he came through and he was able to give more of a perspective, a little bit more perspective on him as well as the name of his race. And the name of his race is what they would refer to as the Plau'Yel. And so that would be P-L-A-U apostrophe Y-E-L. So very similar to the YahYel, but instead just the Plau'Yel is what has been referred to by the second generation of the hybrids between humanity and the Greys. So I'm going to bring in Adronis first, and when Adronis comes through, he'll give an introduction to Kidioki, and Kidioki will come through and give more of an introduction to himself and to the Plau'Yel. So thank you very much everybody for tuning in to this MP3. And I will go ahead and bring Adronis in now, and we'll get started. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis from Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this particular transmission, being, shall we say, produced and broadcasted eventually at some point, no doubt, through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like each and every single one of you to do right now is just allow yourself to get relaxed and tune into the stream of energies that we are emitting throughout this particular transmission, as we shall introduce a very good friend, or shall we say family member, of that who associates with the particular group that you would know as the Association of Worlds. That this particular being has, in that sense, come through this conduit before on different occasions, and has briefly given some form of interaction to himself and to his culture, and that he has returned now to be brought forward through this particular transmission to give more of an introduction to who he is for those who are not familiar with his kind, who are not familiar with his race, and who are not familiar with his energy. What we would like to ask each and every single one of you to do now is allow yourself to form a particular posture as you listen to this particular transmission right now, where you are taking both of your hands and taking the thumb and index finger on both hands and placing them in the formation of a triangle. This is the particular form of interlocked vibration to where you can simultaneously connect with the energy of Kidioki, of the Plau'Yel civilization. Kidioki will now make his way through, shall we say, this particular conduit to bring forward information pertaining to his civilization, to his origins, and to his, shall we say, responsibilities as an associate, as a facilitator, pertaining to his presence with each and every single one of you throughout this particular interaction. We will now adjust the conduit to suit, shall we say, Kidioki's energies as he comes through in calibration. We now bring forward the being known as Kidioki. One moment, please. We say good day to our brothers and to our sisters. Behalf of this transmission, I am that of who we would know as Kidioki, coming through this particular conduit, adjusting our calibrations. We want to thank you for participating with this interaction with us today of your time. We shall give a brief introduction in regards to who we are, what we're doing here, how we're interacting together with you. We are that of what you had originally conceived from the Syrian entity Adronis' perspective as the Talamara, which simply represented, briefly within their language, quotient, shall we say, that which represents the second. Our particular name for our race, shall we say, is that of what you would know as the Plau'Yel. We are what you would consider to be somewhat of a distant family, although still genetically corded, genetically assigned to each and every single one of you who have volunteered, originally with the experimentation of what you would know as what has loosely been termed as the hybridization program, to where the immediate family pertaining to the offshoots of this genetic hybridization between the beings that you would know as the Greys and that the human beings themselves have procreated a particular race. The immediate family pertaining to this hybridization program representing that of what you would know as the YahYel. These particular beings in that sense are ancestors, are great relatives to which we were the second generation, shall we say, procreated from the first, to which we have named ourselves the Plau'Yel. Our particular planet of origin, shall we say, exists within the proximity, not directly, but within the proximity of what you would know as the star of Betelgeuse, also that of what you would know as Alpha Orionis. That we exist within the third planet upon our particular star system, which you could simply refer to as Plau'Yel Prime in that sense. Throughout this planet holds a great deal of vegetation. The gravity upon its pole, shall we say, slightly lighter than yours. If you were to measure yours again through the scale of 1G, you would estimate that ours would be, shall we say, between the facets of 0.9 to 0.92 Gs. That our world contains a greater landmass, not segregated through continental drift as much as your planet has. That approximately 76 to 78% of our world consists of this land that is very much rich in forest, greenery, just like your planet. A planet that has been bioengineered for ourselves, for our culture, for our civilization to flourish. And that our particular existence would be throughout the time ratio at the distance of approximately 800 years within your future. that ourselves in regards to our physical appearance would be that of, shall we say, somewhat to the degree of having pale skin, pale white, being somewhat similar to what you would know as the Mongolian culture upon your planet. That our eyes a little bit wider, a little bit more almond in that sense. Always with a deep smile we have. That most of the males of our species are literally hairless. Females containing that of what you would know as white or silver or even gray hair at times. Not constituted in the form of age, but just in the way that we are engineered in that way. That I myself as Kidioki, which is simply in our language referring to the idea of a teacher or mentor or facilitator, approximately around those forms. That I myself am what you would consider to be an elder, approximately of the age of 341 of your Earth years, give or take, through calculation. And that again, our particular species stands between 5 to 5.5 feet tall. And that we are simply explorers. That we institute ourselves together with that of what you would know as the Association of Worlds as one of its official members, shall we say. Partaking in many different forms of tasks to offer assistance where it is needed. That many of the other Plau'Yel, like us, go upon different tasks, different assignments to what their imagination allows. It all depends. That my relationship with each and every single one of you is simply that to be an ambassador, to be a mediator, pertaining to these particular forms of sessions, of interactions with each of you. As I have visited your world several occasions, if you were to put it in that particular way. Not to the point where you could literally physically see me within your particular form of bandwidth of perception. Simply observational upon your planet and, of course, upon our spacecraft, which we will also discuss as well, too. That you understand that our cousins, the YahYel, that our cousins, the Sassani, are often in what you would know as triangular-shaped craft. That ours is, in that sense, very similar in design. That our ships are self-aware, very similar in design, and that they range from the colors of black and silver. And that we truly enjoy, we truly appreciate functioning in the capacity that we do as we are fascinated by our human family. That we are conducting ourselves in whatever way, whatever capacity we find appropriate for all of you. To bringing ourselves into your presence, for you to somewhat be aware that we exist. That we assist much in regards to the behind-the-scenes interactions with your planet, working alongside her energy, working upon the capacity of assisting the cosmic intervention to bringing you closer and closer to us. That our ships in that sense have been associated together with several sightings upon your planet, within the area that you would know as Chile, within the area that you would know as London, within the area that you would know as specific regions of the landmass that you would know as Russia. Also within other particular areas of your South American continent. That the YahYel themselves have presented themselves to you through what is often a very popularized sighting upon your world, that of what you would know as the Phoenix Lights. That together they have shared their particular presence very much in resonance to the area that you would know as Phoenix, Arizona. And that at times, from when there is the synchronicity to bringing forward our craft again, you will now be aware of us. As all you have to do is connect with our collective energy together. The Plau'Yel, together with the YahYel, together with the Sassani, together with the Syrians, together with all that represents the 424 civilizations that exist within the Association of Worlds. We want to thank you today for this very brief interaction, just so that I, as Kidioki, could come through and give a brief introduction pertaining to our civilization, where we could introduce ourselves in this way, and that the entity, the Syrian entity as Adronis, has stated that as you begin to connect with us, that you can connect with our name of the Plau'Yel, that you could connect with our symbol that simply represents a golden triangle, where outside of that completed golden triangle contains a segregated triangle broken apart at the seams, shall we say, aligned in the outer perimeter of that triangle, and that you can simply utilize the hand posture of the triangle, contained with your thumb, contained with your index finger, placed together with both hands, as you say our name aloud or within your mind. Also imagining the star of Betelgeuse. Again, this is a proximity with our location. Or even imagining that of what you would know as the Orion constellation. We leave you now, and we want to bless this space. We want to bless each and every single one of you for tuning in to this particular transmission, as we know that you are not physically with us at this time, but energetically we feel you just the same. We send you our love and our deepest gratitude, as you are our family, and we will be speaking to you again in much larger capacity through the years of you understand the funneling of time. I am Kidioki of the Plau'Yel. With blessings we send you. We are back, and we thank you very much for this interaction with each and every single one of you today. I am Adronis from Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to you. Thank you once again, and we now return to the conduit. We will see you again within the moment. Goodbye for now. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you to Adronis and to Kidioki of the Plau'Yel to come through. And yeah, I do intend to do more of these particular interactions with Kidioki, as again, he is a pretty new energy. And again, I have another connection with the female entity known as Kalina, that is part of the YahYel civilization, so I'll probably be doing some more channelings with her as well too. So this is basically the triad of my current association, I guess you could say, with Adronis, with Kidioki, and with Kalina. So looking forward to more interactions. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you very much. Much love to you all. Take care. Namaste.